Welcome back to A Girl in a Panda Suit. Today we are talking about Star Trek Picard, Season 1, Episode 9 and 10. That's right, I watched both episodes like just an hour ago or so, and pretty shook, but this means we have to talk about both episodes. So I'm going to start with Episode 9, even though I desperately just want to talk about the last scene. Maybe not the last scene, but like the last big action. But let's start with Episode 9. I do actually have a lot to say about, this is it, right? Let's just talk about it all, talk about how we feel, talk about everything that's happened, the good, the bad, the ugly. I'm not sure how I feel. I'm pretty out of it right now, I'm not gonna lie. So episode 9 starts off with a bang. They get through that wormhole thing and end up at Soji's planet, which, at first was pretty cool. All these synths, they come in pairs, which I think is neat. Noonien Soong's son is there, which is really cool. And not only that, but it's played by Brent Spiner. So that's like the best thing. That's almost the best thing, as close as you can get to him playing Data, I guess. I don't know. I was kind of really hoping they'd bring Data back. But we'll get into that in a bit. I was happy to see him. I believe I cried a little bit when I saw him, just because he's there. I really appreciate that. I wanted him to be there. I just wanted to see him. So, good stuff. The only thing I will say about his character is that, I kind of wish throughout this episode, at least this is how I felt throughout episode 9, that I wish his character was, more on board with, what Jean-Luc was doing and everything, because at first I wasn't sure about it. It's crazy how the Borg cube came through as well. That's kind of intense. I really appreciate it throughout this episode, and I feel like it's kind of all come to a head, but the crew is, starting to act more like a crew. I don't know, they have good vibes towards each other. Everyone seems friendly. I really appreciate that, and everyone's characters kind of going together. And I guess the only thing that I don't really understand about the crew is how they all kind of just are ignoring the fact that Agnes killed Bruce Maddox. I get that they were gonna take her to Deep Space 12 or whatever, but obviously that was never gonna happen. And I feel like this needs to be addressed. So it's implied that she will redeem herself. We're going to talk more about that in episode 10. Other things I liked about episode 9, they had a spot too. So, I literally send ode to spot to people. I sometimes like to harass people with memes and weird things. So I will send ode to spot to people. And that's just because I love cats. And I also love Data. And Spot is essentially the culmination of both of those loves, and so I'm really happy that there's a Spot too. Just warmed my heart a little bit and made everything just a little bit okay. Another thing I don't really like is the Soji Narek narrative. Why is it even still a thing anymore? He's a creep. I don't understand why they are trying to make it slightly emotional. The only reason I can think of is because she thought she was human when she was seeing him, but even then she's not now. If I was her, I'd have nothing but contempt for that guy. And I guess that's sort of how they portray her, but at the same time, just drop it. It's not progressing the plot in any way. I'm over it. Done. Super happy that Seven kicked his creepy sister down the Bori shaft too. So, and she said it was for Hugh, and that was just a really solid moment for me. I really appreciated that. Yeah, I guess this episode just kind of left me it was weird. I was joyful with all the friendships that were happening, but also really sad because Jean-Luc has the terminal illness, and also his plea to Starfleet. It's just one of those things where it's is Starfleet gonna come through? You would think, good Lord, how could they possibly make a TV show with Captain Jean-Luc Picard and not have Starfleet pull through? If you would just be destroying the franchise if you did that. So I think I'm good with how it all turned out. And also the mind transfer thing, that was pretty cool. Obviously that comes to play in the next episode, but I was kind of hoping that they would use it to bring Data back somehow. I just think it's unfair because they planted these seeds with the single positronic neuron, and then they had this golem and the mind transfer, and I think it really got my hopes up, and I'm kind of really disappointed. I'm really happy about how things ended up, But I'm still really disappointed, and I thought I was done crying, but like just talking about it makes me really sad. I did want to talk about, before we move on to episode 10, there was a moment where Soji and Jean-Luc were talking about the logic of sacrifice, and I just thought it was a nice sentiment when he talks about how we're all just here to help save each other. And I think that's just an important thing to remember in these times right now while we're all quarantined. So let's move on to episode 10. This is very bittersweet for me. I'm really not sure how I feel. Like I don't even know where to begin. I guess I'll start with the things that I liked. I liked how they brought in some like lore aspect. Like it kind of reminded me of the Deep Space Nine days with like the how they like had the religious lore in that series. I kind of like this higher synthetic being lore stuff. Prophecies, I don't know, very fantastical to me. I love me a fantasy. And I love when fantasy and sci-fi kind of like come together a little bit, which is kind of what Deep Space Nine did a little bit, and I like it. So I can appreciate that. Kind of hope they do more with that next season though. That could be cool. The only problem with that is that like, how is this based in reality? Like, at least the way that the Romulans tell the story, it's very like fantastical, and you're kind of like, how the hell does this even make sense in reality? But I figure they'll explain it somehow if they go any further with it in the plot in the future seasons. I really liked when Jean-Luc was flying a ship again. That was kind of magical, a really nice moment. I feel like there was a lot of like nice Data throwback moments, which makes it really sad that Data's not back. Like anyway, we're gonna get there. I really liked how Soong came back and like got his redemption, and so did Agnes got her redemption. Seven got her redemption. Everyone got their redemption, which I really, really appreciated. And obviously, when Starfleet did come to the rescue, that was probably one of the more heartwarming moments of the entire series, just because you're really questioning it throughout the entire series. Like, are they going to show up? Are they going to listen to Jean-Luc's pleas? Are they going to do the right thing? Because this is what it's all based on. You can't have an honorable Jean-Luc Picard without Starfleet. And I just it was a real bummer that they were so non-existent throughout the entire season, but that they showed up at the end. Oh my god, and that it was and that it was William T. Riker at the helm. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. Everything about this episode was so great. So they really hit me with the feels when Jean-Luc died. I cried like a goddamn baby. I just was not okay. I was writing notes at the time, and I all I could write was can't be how it ends. It can't be how it ends. And of course, they did do the mind transfer and use the golem and somehow made it work, and he came back, but we still lost Data, which I think was also a really bittersweet moment because all the Data ever wanted was to be human and be finite, and I guess it was like the ultimate human experience for him. But really, I mean, how could they tease the entire time with like saying the stuff about the single positronic neuron, and then having the damn mind transfer conversation with the golem, and the fact that it was Soong's son, like if anyone could have done it. I'm glad that Jean-Luc and Data had their final moment together. It's just this is not what I wanted to happen. Like this is the exact opposite of what I wanted to happen. So, you know, I just I'm really happy that Jean-Luc's alive. I'm just and I know Data was dead the whole time, but was he really dead? He is now. So, what a great series. I don't know what to say except that Data was the best Star Trek character of all time, and I'm gonna miss him dearly. I really hope that on some level, whether it be through flashbacks or something, that they keep him alive. And I I don't like the finite nature of this because I just don't want him to be gone from all the shows going forward. I don't want him to only be talked about in reference. I want to hear his voice. I mean, on the plus side, at least nobody else died. Jean-Luc's alive. Everyone seemed happy and they all flew away together. And the last word out of Jean-Luc's mouth was engage. I guess I'm just gonna have to wait and see what happens next season. Hopefully, it doesn't take too long. Let me know how you guys felt about everything. I guess the last final good thing that I will mention is that I'm really glad that nothing bad happened with the Borg. Kind of hoping that that doesn't come back to bite us in the second season, but yeah, just happy that that all worked out just fine. So that's all I have to say about that, and fingers crossed that it goes well, and let me know how you guys feel. Are you guys as sad as me? I'm super bummed. I honestly feel like I've been kind of punched in the stomach a little bit, but such is life. Data just wanted to live and die. And on that note, thank you for watching this video. Please give this video a thumbs up if you want to, and subscribe to my channel somewhere down there. And if you want to be notified of when I post new videos, hit that little bell icon as well. I can't promise we're going to go right back to Discovery like I probably should. Maybe I'll do something fun. I have a few things up my sleeve, so we'll see what happens next week. And until then, I guess just live long and prosper or something.